here. We have one with Ohio, return visitor, again, Shakina's son. And here.
Dan Borges with Borges Real Estate Team, came to Raleigh in 2006. Heard a number of positive things about the Rotary Club, so this is my second visit.
Thank you for coming back. Can I catch you as you walk away with your food? Returning guest.
Yeah, this is my third visit. So, what can I say? I love it. The name is Adam.
Thank you. We go, guest Jennifer is on the site.
Hi there, I'm Steven. My mother has worked with y'all through Big Smiles. She recommended to just come see and how things are. I'm a tech professional between roles. I can figure out what to do next. So, let's see how this goes.
It's a great place to figure out what to do next. Great problem. Okay. Thank you, President Garrett.
And thank you, Past President Carey. Welcome to all of our visitors. So we're changing the order of things a little bit today, so hopefully Charlie is ready. So we're going to do $5 now. And don't forget the red buckets on your table are there for donations to the Dementia Alliance of North Carolina. So Charlie, I'm going to go first, but it looks like you got one, so why don't you go?
My son was visiting this week with his wife from Germany, so he's got this. Looking around.
Great, congratulations on that. And my happy dollar is just to thank everybody here who has had some role in this this year. Every one of you has affected me in some way or another. All that positive. So thank you all.
Yes, mine's kind of like a mixed motion of $10 because I like it smaller. But yeah, my daughter is in South Dakota, caring for cattle on a big ranch for the summer. And my daughter is, and my son is heading to a gap year in Australia. So as of Saturday, I'm an empty nester after almost 25 years of not being such. So it's out Saturday night. Everybody, wait, look at it.
My wife and I did our 63rd Vital National Park.
Okay, anybody else happy today? Okay. Thank you, President Harry.
Thank you, Charlie. Thank you very much. So we have some upcoming meetings that will start off in July. So we're not meeting next week for the first Monday of July, but Harrison has got a slate to get us really started in a big way. He's got the governor and mayor as his first two speakers. That being the district governor for Rotary, he will be the first speaker, and then Mayor Janet Powell will be the second speaker of his term. And then we have the boys and girls coming to update us on the great work that's done there. In a long time, we've had a partnership with them. So if Tom will come on over, Tom spends a lot of his time explaining financial things to the board, and we couldn't think of a better person to explain this than him, Tom, our treasurer.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. We're finalizing our budget for our next fiscal year. As many of you know, we start July 1st and run through June 30th. One of the biggest expenses we have, Aspen meals and Linda's help, is district dues, and we have little international dues. And each of you know we bill quarterly. Normal membership cost is $295. Many of us pay with credit cards and debit cards, and up to now we haven't passed on that percentage like many of you see with other partners out there from restaurants to hair salons, etc. So please continue to pay your bill promptly, like one all in instead of seeing them occasionally, so we nip that in the bud. That percentage looks like 3.5%. Normal dues are 295. 295 will add to 3.5 times the bill, and that'll save us about $10,000 a year. It's becoming a major expense. Now, what I do personally, and I might be a rare person, but some of you still have these things. You know what a checkbook is? My children, and I have 4 adult children, 32 to 36, none of them have a checkbook, but still blows my mind. Daddy now has limbo, so that's what I get paid. Nevertheless, you can write a check. I'm gonna noodle on some other options, maybe as a draft ACH, and you pay your bills with ACH, and that might be a less cost. So I'm exploring that. Starting July 1st, you'll see a small surcharge when you pay with a debit or a credit card. Thanks.
Thank you. It's been a great job as our treasurer this year. It's really been a fantastic partner. So because we're off for a couple of weeks, we have a lot of birthdays to take note of. So first of all, Chase, Frank McNally is going to notice Lisa twice. Sandy Long, Richard Avery, who I saw earlier. Who has a birthday coming up. Sevlin and Kevin Summers. So congratulations to all those upcoming birthdays. And then anniversaries, Holmes and Sarah Harden, Brandon and Mary Frances Wilson, Lewis and Sharon Rogers, and Frank and Debbie McNally. So Frank had a birthday and an anniversary coming up shortly. So we're going to have a number of awards at this meeting today. That's what our celebration part of this is. And so what I would like to do is go on into that. So the next slide hopefully is past presidents. There we go, past presidents. So if you are on that list, please stand up. These are our past presidents of the squad. Please stand if you're on the list. Would like to look across those faces and have that as their board of directors or their senior leadership team. What a great account. So thank you to all our past presidents. Now we have members who have been around for a while. So we have members who have been here for 25 years or more. Okay, there you go. If you're on that list, please stand up. Yeah. And then Paul Harris Fellows, for those who are visiting, Paul Harris Fellow is a designation given to the Rotarian who gives $1,000 to the Rotary International Foundation to do work all over the world. Rotary does work all over the world. And when you give $1,000, you become a Paul Harris Fellow, and some people give beyond that, and so they continue to add to that. So with all the Paul Harris Fellows that are on that list, please stand up. What happens in the Rotary system when you give to become a Paul Harris Fellow, and you do it again and again and again and again, and have to do it 10 times, after you do it 10 times, meaning you give it a total of $10,000, then you become what's called a major donor. And in this club, we do have some major donors. If your name is on that list, please stand up. And then Request Society. So if you give to a particular Rotary cause in your will or your state, you can become a member of the Request Society. And we have some of those as well. So if your name is on that list, please stand up. Or I could just say, Reggie, just stand up. And Kirk. So, that's fantastic. Let's see. Oh, the Heritage Oaks, we have a group for our local Rotary Club, where if you leave a significant amount of your state, $5,000 or $10,000 in your state to the Rotary Club of the Raleigh Foundation, you join and become a member of the Lester Woodall Society, named after the past president, Lester Woodall, Woody Woodall, Lester, and he actually gave money to start the Rotary Club of the Raleigh Foundation. So if you're a Lester Woodall Society member, please stand up. And you name might be the list. And then the Heritage, so the Heritage Oak Society is the legacy one that gave $500 to the Rotary Club of the Raleigh Foundation. It's the Lester Woodall Society. So we'll have those two. All right, so what I'd like to do now is Board of Directors for the next few days. This year's Board of Directors, please come up here and stand across the space here. So if you're on the board now, please come up here. Make a nice. No, yeah, we don't mind. They've seen enough of these. So this is our Board of Directors, and Linda has some recognition for each of you that she'll be passing out as I say just a word or two. All right, here. So the members of this year's board are Harryson Turner. He will be president. If he was president-elect, he will be president coming up. And then Tommy Kelleher, president nominee. And then Richard Avery, which is the president nominee. So he's got 2 years to learn the ropes there. Tom Holder, treasurer, our intrepid treasurer, who has signed up for another stint. Richard Johnson, who is our club secretary. Leslie Oliver, who does our public image work, all the magical stuff that happens on social media and whatnot is her responsibility. Diamante Sanders, who is our membership director. Shakima McLean has our new generations responsibility, works with our Rotaract clubs, the young people in Rotary, and does a marvelous job on that. Patty Rinley, he did a great job as our foundation chair and is an encyclopedia of Rotary. So he's a wonderful guy. Carrie is our past president and has been on the board for many years as fundraising and events and president, past president, and so has really done a great job for us. John Cates has done our fundraising, and that was a very important aspect of it this year. We'll talk about that in a little bit in just a moment. Jennifer Rodriguez, who makes everything work smoothly, and I am so grateful for you couldn't believe it. And then Corey Hughes, who stepped in as our at-large member. He is also our interface to the Southeast Raleigh Club, and he stepped in when Frank's had some challenges and stepped right up and did a fantastic job of bringing learning identity and everything that he possesses to whatever he has. So let's thank for the last time our board for this year as they return to their seats. Okay, we have some additional special awards. First of all, perfect attendance. So, Linda, you ready to go? Okay. This requires Linda's assistance too for perfect attendance. All right, so if your name is on this list, please stand up, and Linda has a certificate for you for your perfect attendance. So the people that made every meeting are John Cates, Randy Frazier, Tom Holder, Shakima McLean, Nathan Thomas, and I actually came to the meetings I was hosting, so there we go. So let's congratulate all our perfect attendance people. is not here. We prematurely awarded him, but Nathan.
He's on Zoom.
He's on Zoom, we made it. So, Nathan is here, I believe I saw him there, and that helps explain something else. Nathan travels the world, he travels a lot on his own work and whatnot, but you can make up meetings at other Rotary clubs and make up meetings, doing projects and things like that. So you can make a perfect attendance. That might be a goal you set for yourself this year, a perfect attendance goal. Okay, have some special awards. We're gonna go to the award of all awards, and that is Rotarian of the Year. We can vote one person in this club each year that really personifies the club or greatness in performing their role in the club. Yeah, don't flip the page, please. Okay. Black out. All right, so this person is somebody who also has perfect attendance at Rotary meetings, but they also have perfect attendance, or close to perfect attendance at service projects. If there's a service project, you can count on this person being here. She is great. Oops, I slipped. This person is great at challenging us and encouraging us in doing both in a huge way. This person is very dedicated to young people and to Rotarians. Yes to everything she does. So I am delighted to say that Shakima McLean is a Rotarian of the Year. Response, I think people take it that people agree. That's wonderful. Congratulations, Shakima. And then we've got some distinguished service awards. And so I'll ask the following people to come up here. Leslie Oliver, who is not here. Mike Brennan, Corey Hughes, Maddie Marshall, and Kevin Summers. And those awards are for people that have just made a real, have made a real difference for me this year. They've just done special things, gone above and beyond, whatever it might take to get the Rotary Club running smoothly, reaching out, solving problems. At least I value solving problems, and they all have done that, all those people I named. So let me go ahead and give those to the right people that can read the writing this morning. Let's thank you guys again. And Carrie has an announcement.
Eric, President Dad. So it's a tradition every year that we thank the outgoing president with a pin and a few mementos from your wonderful year. And it typically is done by the incoming president, but wonderful Harrison said, I think it would be fantastic, Harry, if you did this exchange. So, Dad, I have a few things for you. Come back up here. For President Eric, I'd like to sing that a few more times. First thing is Rotary Club President flag. I should have done that first. So, So it's been an honor being able to do this with you, Dad, and thank you for being a Rotary sponsor. Goodness, over 10 years ago now, and what an honor to be able to do this and serve this amazing group of people, serve with these amazing group of people. So, second thing is Rotary pin. You will have this forever. Rotary pin, it's a beautiful past president pin. And thank you to Linda who helped organize this. This is our token of the club's appreciation. You can open it later if you want to show. Thank you, but it's something that you can look at every day and remember your year. So thank you for your service, President Eric. Let's give him a round of applause.
Said this to the board, you can't imagine the privilege it is to spend every Monday here and do this together. It's delightful. And all of you have made this year, that means good to me. I still have a speech, so I can get pushed. That's good. But thank you so much. So we're going to switch slides. Is that right?
Oh, do you want to announce it as that?
I think that's next. Yeah. Harrison is going to be much nicer to our tech team. I'm not throwing curves every week. So I've got some reflections on this year. Yeah, Harrison, we're on time. Sorry. So reflections on this Rotary year. If you remember when we started this year, I said that we All right, so before we start a review of the year, we want to look back at what we did and put some perspective on Rotary is about people. And so before we start celebrating, we want to start by acknowledging we lost 4 really incredible Rotarians this year. We lost Sam Stone. Sam was a longtime member of this club. He ran the Salvation Army bell ringing for many years. He was a minister by training, and he actually wrote the club history book. And those of you who know Sam or knew Sam will testify to the fact that there was never a more kind-hearted. So we lost him recently, a couple weeks ago. And then we lost 3 giants of Rotary, giants of Raleigh this year. We lost Lawrence Davis, Bill Lambeth, and Robert McMillan. They were all past presidents of this club, all Paul Bear's fellows, all very involved in Rotary. And outside of Rotary, Lawrence was a powerhouse in the political realm and an attorney for 50 years. Bill Lambeth was a living surgeon, a plastic surgeon who in his later career did work overseas to help people with problems. And I think most of the attorneys in this room would say that Robert McMillan was the dean of defense attorneys in the Raleigh area. So we missed them all and wanted to acknowledge them. Now, we move on and we continue to grow, and I'm thrilled that this year we had these folks, the next generation of Rotarians, join us. And so you can see the neat names up there, but a lot of you are here today. Thank you for joining us this year and in the Rotary Party of Life. And I look forward to the year when you will stand up as it's your 25th year anniversary right, so when I started this year, I said we had three goals: to work hard, have fun, and make a difference. That was what we did. So let's see how it went. We had events this year. So we had socials. We had our annual dinners and luncheons. We had celebrations. We had awards that people received. We had fellowships, Paul Harris fellowships, and things like that that we gave out. And we had exchanges with other Rotary clubs. So we had a Christmas party, and I still have, and that's actually the third year I had. We had a Christmas party this year. We had Harrison that went to the training seminar to be a new president, and we had Eric Stevens, who was our assistant district governor this year, and they are part of the Rotary going forward group. Kevin Summers received an award from the state of North Carolina for all the volunteer work that he does, and a lot of that is around Rotary work. Shakima got an award from the Carolina Courage for her work in the community. And Charlie Upshaw carried the Raleigh Rotary banner across the country and across the globe, visited lots of other Rotary clubs, always brought good cheer there, brought us back some good flags. And yes, look in that picture, that is Charlie Upshaw wearing shorts. So that's just Daniel Raleigh actually does own a pair of shorts. And he was in Texas at that, that's about makes sense. Patty Rooney, our foundation chair, was thrilled whenever he gave out a Paul Harris Fellow. Here's John receiving his Paul Harris Fellow. And then we also gave to the Dementia Alliance of North Carolina, a longtime partner of ours. We had some fun at the farm and had a social out there and had a great time. And it just coincidentally worked out, Pete, that's also, you're the next picture receiving your Paul Harris Fellow, multiple actually in that case. And then, unfortunately, Maddie's not here. This is one of my favorite pictures from this year. Maddie and I we were the only two to show up for a service social, and we just had a great conversation, and it was a real special time for us. Then we had the big event of the year. We had our gala led by John. And John did an amazing job with his team on that. People had lots of fun there. It was great. Some people had too much fun there, perhaps, and had a marvelous time. And then I love this picture that Linda had, just a really great perspective on the whole event. So hats off to everybody that was involved in that. All right. So we had programs this year. We had authors, we had historians, we had political leaders, we had heads of companies. We had lots of different people come and speak this year. And we had a magician. Who remembers the magician? Yeah, we split all the papers back and he did some things here. The theme of the year was the magic of Rotary, and he did it. And then we had Leslie, who always makes us our visitors feel welcome. Leslie Oliver did a great job with that. And we had a speaker from Red Hat who came and told us about the high-tech industry. Carrie was always happy to pick up the happy dollars when Charlie wasn't here. And then we had programs by our club members. Richard talked about the American Cancer Society. We had always a great raffle going on, and we raised money and had a lot of fun with that. And then we had the president of Wake Tech come and talk to us, I believe, the largest educational institution in North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. And then Randy Woodson came and spoke, or we didn't come here to speak. He invited us over to his place, and that was a better deal. So he spoke, gave us an update on NC State. We were able to get him before his retirement, so he was very dedicated to this point. And we had, this is one of our authors that was speaking at the club. And then we always like to, at meetings, have inductions of new members. And this is one of many we had, but I love this picture because it has Diamante having to stand behind a podium that says NC State. We have lots of activities. We participated in golf tournament that came on. And we had an exchange student come and spend time with us, hosted first by John and his wife, and then by some other folks. So we brought in students from across the way. We did Salvation Army bell ringing. And we did an event with the Dementia Alliance of North Carolina supporting one of their walks. And we did more bell ringing. And we cleaned out a stream that was dirty. And we did more bell ringing. It's hard to find a bell ringing picture that doesn't have Kevin Summers in it, actually. He did lots of rounds. Bill McCord did lots of rounds. A number of people did. And then one of the neat projects we were able to do, headed up by Eric Stevens, he pulled all the Raleigh Rotary clubs together to do one project. And we joined in to build a children's playground on Moore Square, downtown Raleigh, where there are musical instruments for kids to play, and lots of activities and things like that. And there's a permanent plaque there highlighting Rotary's contribution to that. So that was a terrific project. And more bell ringing with multi-generational bell ringing there. We also supported Wake Smiles, continued our support of Wake Smiles and their free dental clinic that they have a free reduced dental clinic. We have that's another one of our long-term projects, and so we continued that association with them. And we have, some of you mentioned Wake Smiles just a moment ago, so pass on our commitment to them continuing. Yes, thank you. And then Braxton won the award for clever up his sleeve, and he did not disappoint this year. And then we gathered supplies for the people in western North Carolina hit by the hurricane and the flooding that came from that. And we filled up the sidewalk outside this place, loaded it all onto a trailer, and headed it to out west. This is where it's being distributed at a church to the people that needed those things. So another great project we did. And this is past President Bill, past District Governor Bill. He and a number of other folks planted poles across Moore Square in Raleigh, so that there are beautiful flowers coming up now doing that. So that's getting your hands dirty kind of work. And so another great project for this year. And then this is another one of my favorite pictures because Mark Hackett's probably a 50-year friend of mine, but he and his wife Sylvia, who used to be a member of this club, had a multi-generational family bell ringing event. So terrific thing there. So that is some of the stuff we did this year. So, did we work hard? Yeah, I think so. Did we have fun? Who had fun this year? And did it make a difference? I think so. You saw all the different things going on. So, what I'd like to do is talk a little bit about a guy named John Coulter. John Coulter was a private in the United States Army in the early 1800s. But more important than that, he was a member of something called the Corps of Discovery. The Corps of Discovery you probably learned about in high school as the Lewis Corps Expedition. And they started in St. Louis, Missouri, went all the way up the Missouri River, across the Rocky Mountains, all the way to the Pacific Ocean, near where Astoria, Oregon is now. And then it came all the way back. Along the way, they saw things they'd never seen before, experienced things they'd never experienced before, learned things they'd never learned before. But something interesting happened. On the last day of the trip, they were one day out of St. Louis, ready to come back. They were what's called abandoned Indian villages. And this John Coulter guy came up to Meriwether Lewis and William Clark and said, "Captains, I've seen things and done things, experienced things I've never done before. I don't want to go back to society. I don't want to go back to who I used to be. I want to stay here and continue to learn and experience and do things." And they conferred, Lewis and Clark conferred, and they gave him permission to depart. So he turned around and went back out into that wild land and saw more things and discovered more things and learned more things. In fact, he is the person who is credited with discovering the geologic marvel we now call Yellowstone National Park. So why am I talking about this guy? Hopefully this Rotary year, you've tried something that maybe you rang the bell for the first time. Maybe you invited a friend for the first time. Maybe you gave the first became a Paul Harris Fellow. Maybe you improved your attendance. Maybe you stayed awake in all the meetings. Whatever it might be, you did something this year. I would encourage you, don't go back to the Rotarian you were last year. Take the Rotarian you were this year and go ahead and expand that further. Hopefully you'll find your Rotary version of Yellowstone. So one more piece of history, and then I'll be done talking. So this is about presidents. So this is President William Henry Harrison, President of the United States. Very short-term president, but President of the United States, William Henry Harrison. Then we have Benjamin Harrison, who's actually grandson, I believe, of William Henry Harrison, and he was president. But those two Harrisons don't compare to the most famous Harrison, which is Harrison Turner, who will be president of the Rotary Club of Raleigh. All right. So we have a little ceremony to do here. We have not rehearsed this, so please be patient with us as we do this. So I need to find the script. Harrison, will you please come up? And we'll just talk about it. Okay. So as you heard, Harrison has been on the board. He has been our president nominee. This past year, he is our president-elect. And in a handful of days, he will be president of the Rotary Club of Raleigh. He is going to do amazing things with you folks. He and I talked a little bit. He's got great ideas. He's going to continue some of the things that started with Carrie and before Carrie and on through this. So I'm really excited. He's a young banker with a great future in the banking industry, and he's a great leader for this club. So we have some formal things we need to do here. So I'm going to say to you a pledge, and then you answer by saying, I will. So here we go. You have been elected to the important position of the president of the Rotary Club of Raleigh. This is an indication of our esteem and confidence in you. We also believe you will uphold the high traditions of your club, and you will give the best of your executive ability to the furtherance of the interest of the club and the carrying forward of the club. Will you fulfill the responsibilities of your office to the best of your ability in accordance with the bylaws of this club? I hereby declare you president of the Rotary Club of Raleigh and give you the gavel as a symbol of the transfer of the club's administration. Let's congratulate President Harrison.
Well, everybody's in trouble now. Oh, beautiful. All right, here we go. Here, if I'm correct, I'm bringing up the new boards at the next part. Can I see that? All right, if I could, if you will be serving in the 2025-2026 Board of Directors, if you would please make your way up front. You have the best seat as past president. So we have Tommy, Richard, Eric Larson, Richard Johnson, Tom Holder, Diamante Sanders, John Cates, Shakima McLean, Leslie Oliver, Kevin Summers, Jennifer Rodriguez, Rennie Mouse, and Corey Hughes. Thank you guys. I will be doing the exact same thing Eric just did. I'll be reading off, and I will please ask that you respond with I will. To the officers, you have been elected to the important position in the administration of the Rotary Club of Raleigh. This is an indication of the esteem and confidence that we have in you. We also believe you will uphold the highest traditions of the club, that you will give the best of your executive abilities to the furtherance of the interests of the club and carrying forward of the object of Rotary. Will you fulfill responsibilities of your office to the best of your abilities and in accordance with the bylaws of this club. Well, with the powers invested in me, I now hereby declare the new officers and directors of the Rotary Club of Raleigh for 2025-2026. Thank you all for your service. Fantastic. Before I get into my remarks, which Eric told me I had at least 45 minutes to speak, so just settle in, everyone. I do want to take a moment to recognize and say thank you, Eric, for the wonderful role that you played this past year in continuing the legacy of the Rotary Club of Raleigh, being a wonderful president. I learned a lot from you, especially as I was preparing myself for this role. So I want to say thank you to our board of directors. You guys serve every day in and day out. I'm so honored to be with them. And lastly, Jim Evans did introduce himself at the beginning of the meeting, but I want to say a shout out to Jim Evans. Thank you so much for coming by my office 6 years ago and saying, hey, you want to go to a Rotary meeting? That man right there is the reason why I'm here today. I did not know anything about Rotary beforehand, but it just shows the powers of asking the question, hey, you want to check out Rotary? So I've had that as a call for all of us here. So, good afternoon, friends. As I stand before you today, I do so with deep gratitude and profound sense of humility. And I'll be honest, I'm a little disbelief that you all actually trusted me with this job. It's interesting to see that what happens when you attend Monday meetings and you place the perfect dad jokes at the right time, where you end up with Rotary. So, thank you so much. Seriously, this is a true honor and one that I truly don't take lightly. I'm not exactly sure if everybody saw, but when you walked in, behind you on this back bar here, you will find pictures of our past presidents all the way back from 1915. You know, this club was founded in 1914. A lot of the names that you saw here today and the people that we have honored are back there on that table. Those are men and women who built and carried this club for generations. Each one of them has left a mark. A few are with us here today. If you look back there, you'll find Bill McLaurin's picture. That's a good one. Since our founding in 1914, when Manly Tyree gathered a handful of leaders in a photography studio, the Rotary Club of Raleigh has held firm to one enduring truth, which is service above self. We served through world wars, led during times of social change, and built a century of impact, from Camp Durant and the Raleigh Hall of Fame, which I don't know if you know, we are in the Raleigh Hall of Fame, to the dental clinic and beyond. Today, we honor our past by carrying it forward and by remembering that everything we do still matters. Now, I've got to be honest with you, I haven't fully shared my theme for the year, so this is a big reveal. A lot of people ask, hey, do you have a theme for the Rotary Club of Raleigh this year? And at first, I joked that my theme at being one of the younger presidents in our history was going to be don't screw it up. And I'll be honest, it's probably going to be my motto in the background throughout this year. But the real theme and the one that's been on my heart is everything matters. That's a phrase that's more than just a theme. It's a mindset, it's a challenge, and it's a calling for us. And it aligns beautifully with the theme of Rotary. Our international president, Francisco Arezzo of Italy, his Rotary theme is Unite for Good. President Arezzo has called on Rotarians around the world to be a force for unity in a world increasingly divided by politics, geography, ideology. Through service, Rotary brings together people of every background, across races, religion, and professions, with a shared mission to do good in our communities. And I believe that's exactly what the theme of everything matters means us. That every act of service, every conversation, every action, it all adds up. It all counts. That message hit me even harder when I was first heard it while I was at Wharton a couple weeks ago. We were doing a marketing study of a small Midwest bank called Security National Bank, and their mission statement is simple but powerful. We exist to do what's right because it matters. And that hit me because that's what Rotary is. That's us. Whether it's showing up on a rainy Saturday for stream cleanup, ringing a bell in the Pacific Chill, as we saw pictures of, mentoring a young leader, or simply offering a warm handshake to somebody new. What we do and how we serve and how we show up matters. As we enter this new Rotary year, I want to challenge each of us, no matter how long you've been a Rotarian, to reflect on your why. Why did you join Rotary? Why did you stick around? And if you found yourself on the sidelines, I lovingly encourage you, it's time to step back in, because your presence, your wisdom, and your time matters. To our long-standing members, you are the heartbeat of this club. You carry the torch for decades of change, but your role isn't over. You're needed more now than ever, not just by service, but by mentor, to guide, to inspire. And to our newer Rotarians, we need your energy, we need your fresh ideas and your passion. This year, don't wait to be asked. Step forward, say yes, get connected, get a little messy, and make an impact. So this year, we'll try things that are new. We'll stretch ourselves, and we'll find ways to evolve while we never forget who we are and where we came from. Because our strength lies in both our legacy and our willingness to grow. So I'll close with this. Rotary has always given us a compass, which is service above self and a four-way test, asking us to live with truth, fairness, goodness, and benefit to all. But sometimes we forget that these aren't just ideals on a banner. They're choices we make in our everyday lives, in how we speak, how we serve, and how we show up for each other. And when we live these values intentionally, we act like everything matters. We don't just preserve our legacy, we build upon it. So this year, let's be bold in our service, generous in our friendships, and grounded in our purpose. Let's live like Rotary's taught us that what we do and how we do truly matters. I am honored for this opportunity, and I look forward to serving beside each and every one of you this year. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So Rotarians, if you would all please stand for the four-way test. I have skipped the raffle so many times this year, and Tommy was on pocket.
I was gonna bring it home, but we'll just give it away instead. All right, if you've got your raffle tickets, pull them out. We're gonna get a winner today. How about 8, 2, 5, 6, 5, 3? There you go, Richard Averett. It's a presidential day here.
In the meetings, that's great. So Rotarians, for the last time this Rotary year, let's put a bow on it. Of the things we think, say, and do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will do it good, will be beneficial to all concerned. We are adjourned.
Want to squeeze in there. It's not.
If you've been
I'm blessed
for
by the way.
25 years or
Steven,
more,
is
can we please get a
from the
picture
Wake
by the
Smiles,
red
there's a-
curtain?
My mother works in conjunction with Wake Smiles and stuff. So she met Jennifer and the recommendation made it that for today.
So I understand you're trying to figure out what you're going to do.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So long story short, I was affected by a layoff back in March. It was I was working in technical for bank DevOps and that kind of stuff. Currently, I realize that DevOps isn't really something I enjoyed. I prefer something adjacent to it called DataOps. So looking into trying to figure out how I can shift my career slightly towards being more concerned about data security, data analytics. Data visualization is also a new thing. I love working with data visuals. It all varies on what my next job is.
If your name is on the TV, can you please come to the red curtain?
So you want to forecast what is expected from the
Behind
data, past data, and you make inferences.
I've not really worked that analytical mindset. My whole thing was just making data easier to process and understand. You can do that a lot for different kinds of visualization tools. There's one called Tableau where you can do all sorts of interesting visualizations. One I specifically did took data from the North Carolina Dental Association my mom used her their license to get me this data, but it was just the basic information of every North Carolina professional, and I had that data visualized within all 100 counties. Some counties like Wake and Orange had a giant surplus of professionals, and then some out like Tyrell County, their county barely have anything. So that was my graduation project back in 2018. I then picked up an internship where I learned a data visualization software called Splunk, which is more about computer data analytics, reading data logs, which generally human eyes can't really understand it. But the whole point of that software is to take the logs of whatever the computers are saying, and then being able to parse it and visualize it for people. Those are the two softwares that I would like to start working with.
Started interviews yet?
I have applied, but I've not been invited to any interviews. I had part of my severance package. I worked with a professional job coach. Actually, my final meeting with her is